I'm trying to make this as honest as I can. Now, honesty is in the eye of the beholder, I presume. But sharing these things means that there are people that know me, people that have experienced my worst, that will read it and maybe applaud my honesty, maybe applaud my insight. But of course, they can also bring up some painful memories. So, in that regard, as I was sitting here this evening, of course, I had no reason to create another video today, but my second wife, which was the marriage where I really learned how to drink, started drinking, where things got really out of hand for me, made a comment about my previous video about folks that help you out and give you a place to stay. And if you haven't seen that, you won't know what I'm talking about, but generally saying that, you know, sort of supporting my thesis that housing is not the answer to homelessness. Sometimes it can become too soon and actually be, if not a setback, at the very least, it can be a delay in the progress you need to make. Anyway, she made a comment on my Facebook about the video saying that she provided me with housing for 10 years. Now, we were married for 10 years or so, and so without getting into the idea that we were married and we both worked and did the best we could, and that didn't do as well as she did, it was a hurtful comment to receive. Not because I didn't deserve it, but because you want to give yourself credit for turning things around, and you don't get any awards for suddenly doing the right thing, but you do need encouragement, and you are fragile. And so, the idea that someone who I've tried to have not really have a relationship with anymore, but keep in touch from time to time if something happens in the family, or you know, just send a quick message, but nothing, nothing really that you would call a friendship at this point, but maybe putting some of the bitterness aside. So it surprised me that she would make this kind of public um, proclamation, knowing it would hurt me. And, this is someone who I was married to. We lost a child who only lived a couple of days, and she was bipolar. And so there were a lot of rough edges around our relationship. There's no question about that. But it reminded me of a very painful experience in my life where after we were separated and she was with somebody else, um, or after we were divorced, I assume they had a child. They had a healthy child, and that was wonderful. But she took that opportunity to leave me a message to say that with this man she could have a healthy child. And it was needlessly hurtful in such a happy moment. But sometimes you hurt people in such a way that they instinctively come back and hurt you whenever they can. And that's something that you just have to live with. But it makes it difficult you can't really brush it off, and you can't use it as an excuse to drink or fall back on anything that you fell back on in the past. You just have to take it and be stoic. You don't have to like it. Of course, now I'm sharing this, so I don't know if I'm sharing something that's going to be helpful, or if this is my way of sort of getting back at her. But I think I just wanted to share how I feel at this moment, because it's easy to talk about, I've made this change, I've made that change. Let me give you some advice. I know so much. Well, I know a lot because I did a lot of things wrong. But at the same time, there's still a lot of pain underneath this experience. And so I felt it was important to share this moment with you, because the pain is very real. And that one small comment will haunt me for some time, and it's not something I can just get over. So I wanted to read something to you. I apologize for having to look down and read this, but it's from a movie called The Big Kahuna, which I believe was based on a play called The Hospitality Suite. I could have that title wrong, but it's about regrets, and that's really what I'm trying to get at. And I think it's just a beautiful description of regrets, between two men talking, and basically it's saying the quote is, "I'm saying you've already done plenty of things to regret." We'll see, this is part of the joy of technology, and I'm just going to keep things going. I'm not going to go over all of that again just because I got a little glitch there. I'm saying you've already done plenty of things to regret. You just don't know what they are. It's when you discover them, when you see the folly in something you've done, and you wish that you had it to do over, but you know you can't because it's too late. So you pick that thing up and carry it with you to remind you that life goes on. The world will spin without you. You really don't matter in the end. Then you will gain character, because honesty will reach out from inside and tattoo itself across your face. What a beautiful affirmation of continuing to try and carry on with all the weight that we've placed on ourselves, that we can still develop character, because we have this pain and it's very real, and it will always be with us. I'd rather not have any regrets, but I do. So as I try to believe in myself, as I try to rebuild my life, as you do the same, you're going to be reminded from time to time, either because you see someone, you think of someone, or you hear from someone that very likely is going to bring up something that just tears you apart. You can't make it all up, but you can be something different, and you can help somebody else. And if there's a way to make things up to people in the past, you'll find your way to do that. But the thing about being homeless is you don't really have anything to work with except your integrity. You can make good choices, but you can't start writing checks to people you've ripped off in the past or taken advantage of. Most times people don't even want to hear that you're sorry for what you did, because it just sounds cheap. But you've got to know yourself and know your situation, and then make that determination. But regrets are painful. Regrets are a very real part of this lifestyle. And I can tell you, when you're sitting outside under the stars, or when you're laying in that bunk for a long night and hearing the noise all around you and trying to drown it out, but then you drown it out with your thoughts, and your thoughts turn into regrets, remembering, playing back scenes from your life that are painful, that you can't do anything about. But I encourage you to carry on, to get through the difficult times. An old song goes, and I won't sing it, I promise, but, twilight is the loneliest time of day. You're going to be sitting here or laying in your bed, even when things are better, and you're going to remember the pain. It's a trauma. We're survivors of a trauma that we brought on ourselves to some degree. And so the experience of being on the street, the experience of the pain and the loneliness and the regrets that brought you there are going to stay with you. But if I can help you to catalog those things and to find a constructive way to deal with them and to take them on and identify them, I hope I can help somebody out there. But I can tell you this much: it helps me to be able to share it with my audience, and to know that the sun will come up and tomorrow's a new day. So thank you for listening, and stay homeless and stay strong.